I would be remiss, especially to my brethren out there, high debt brethren, student debt brethren out there, to not ask you about how are student debts in bankruptcy. How does it work? Well, I'm under the impression that you can't do anything about it, but is there some gray area there?
Well, it depends. Well, first of all, the first question will be like, what kind of student loan? Most of those are like federal student loans. Yeah, those you cannot get. Generally, you cannot. But if you got loans to go to Trump University and you got them from like some private whatever, we can probably discharge those as long as they're not federally backed student loans. And or like with Trump University, like I said, if the school is not qualified, you can also discharge them if it's not like a qualifying school. But generally, yes, it's very difficult process. There's something that's called the Brunner test. I don't know if you want to go over it, but basically, although recently they've implemented some additional guidelines where it's, I think, a tiny bit easier to discharge student loans, but basically, like, you gotta be like unemployed and no future prospects of having a good job and no future prospects of having good income. And
is that the Brunner?
No, so there's more stuff in the test.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, on a very basic level, it's three things, right?
Okay.
You pretty much have to be broke. You pretty much are guaranteed to be broke in the future, and then at the same time, you've made a good faith effort to pay back those loans. So I think there was a case in the first department, a case in the second department where people actually got their federally backed student loans discharged, and one was actually a situation with an attorney who opened a law firm, didn't go very well. And he or she, I think it's he, was able to get the student loans discharged. But basically, I tell people, you basically have to be deaf-blind, living in a desert, and like away from people, not be. It's being able to find a job. It's a very high standard to meet.
I would imagine a lawyer would have lots of prospects, even if their law firm sucks. Like, how did he prove it? Was his reputation is ruined based on that bad shitty law firm?
Other debts and stuff. It's been a while since I've read that case, but yeah, it's like other.
Like for example, if you're disabled, then you just show that you can do. Although before, like Judge Morris used to be employed like easier standard to discharge them, but then she started getting appealed too much, and the judge on appeal started overturning all the student loan discharges.
Okay. Woo, guys! You guys are making me sweat. I know it's hot in here.
Also, taxes. You can get taxes discharged if federal,
that's
state.
A good one.
If you owe, if they're over 3 years old, so basically from the time you do them, you can get them discharged in a 7 or a 13. Only thing is, I hear the IRS is like, even though that's like it's a rule, it's like the IRS is kind of trying to push back on that somewhat. But you can get them discharged.
But you also have to file them every year. So like, if you didn't file taxes, it doesn't matter. You have to file your tax every year, and then if they're more than 3 years old, you can discharge them. But if you did not file them, you can't just go and.
I think you have to wait another 3 years from the date of filing, as in when.